Most people spent their lives running away from the very things that would make them whole, only realizing the truth when the clock has run out. Psychology reveals that the wisdom we search for isn't hidden in books, but in the way we handle our daily friction. Here are 7 psychological life secrets that people usually learn far too late. 1. The spotlight effect. You are your only audience. We spend a staggering amount of mental energy worrying about how others perceive our flaws. Psychologists call this the spotlight effect. We overestimate how much people notice our mistakes, our appearance, or our awkwardness. In reality, everyone else is the protagonist of their own story, far too busy worrying about their own spotlight to focus on yours. Once you realize that nobody is watching as closely as you think, you are finally free to take risks without the paralyzing fear of judgment. 2. Post-traumatic growth. Pain is the greatest architect. We are taught to avoid pain at all costs, but research in psychology suggests that comfort is often a stagnant state. Post-traumatic growth is the phenomenon where individuals experience positive psychological change as a result of struggling with highly challenging life circumstances. Rejection, failure, and heartbreak are not just bad luck. They are the tools that rewire your brain to adapt, become resilient, and discover a deeper sense of meaning that comfort could never provide. 3. The butterfly effect. The power of the small yes. We wait for a big break to change our lives, but psychology shows that big change is almost always the result of a small, seemingly insignificant choice. A single text, a 10-minute walk, or one honest conversation can redirect your entire life path. Looking back, you will find that your biggest turning points were built on the back of minor decisions that felt small at the time but carried massive momentum. 4. Avoidance psychology. The debt of the unfinished. Avoidance behavior is one of the leading causes of chronic anxiety. When you dodge a difficult conversation or a heavy responsibility, your brain doesn't just forget it. It stores it as an open loop that drains your mental battery. Psychology shows that the stress of avoidance is often higher than the stress of the task itself. The moment you face what you've been dodging, your cortisol levels drop because the threat has finally been addressed. 5. The endowment effect. The trap of the familiar. The brain is wired to overvalue what we already possess, even if it's hurting us. This is known as the endowment effect. We stay in the wrong jobs, the wrong relationships, and the wrong identities because the familiar feels safer than the unknown. However, holding on to a dead dream blocks the space where a new one could grow. Letting go isn't just about losing, it's about making room. 6. Neuroplasticity and gratitude. Changing your vision. Positive psychology has proven that gratitude isn't just a nice thought. It is a biological intervention. Practicing gratitude literally changes the neural pathways in your brain, reducing stress hormones and flooding your system with dopamine and serotonin. 7. The learning zone. Discomfort as a compass. Psychologists define the learning zone as the space just beyond your current abilities. It is a place that feels awkward, unqualified, and frustrating. Most people quit when they hit this zone because they mistake discomfort for a lack of talent. But in the architecture of the mind, discomfort is the only sign that you are actually evolving. Pushing through that beginner phase is the only way to build the future version of yourself. The final insight. The life you want belongs to the person you are still building. It is constructed choice by choice, habit by habit. Don't wait decades for life to teach you through regret what you can understand through psychology today.